Thank you for being a true Ugandan and saying it as it is, without mincing words. Thank you for not putting the icing on the cake to hide what is inside. You have been very candid, and I appreciate those candid remarks, and I highly recommend that the ministry, the board, and management pick those slides and action be taken so that we can tick the boxes. I don't know whether you are going to charge us for that presentation, but as a true Ugandan, I think that was free of charge. Thank you. But I also wish I could carry you and take you before the committees of infrastructure and the committees of budget, and you tell them why it's important to invest in the in the air industry. Why CAA needs to be funded, why we must do more than what we are doing. I hope one day you'll be here when I'm going to appear before these committees, and I request the committee chair to give you an opportunity to make these remarks and presentations. Good enough, our vice chair is here, and he has heard it himself. I think we are not doing justice to the air industry. We are not being fair in terms of what we give them, in terms of budget, and in terms of what we need. We are still far below, and possibly that's why we are hitting far below the targets, as we have highly indicated. It is my pleasure now to interact with the aviation and fraternity at this Uganda Civil Aviation Authority organized stakeholders engagement breakfast in honor of the International Aviation Week. Engagements of this nature in December are always a great avenue to share the milestones recorded in the course of the year, challenges, and possible mitigations. I take this opportunity to congratulate the entire industry in Uganda for the excellent performance recorded in the just ended Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, Continuous Monitoring Result, CMA, which gives the international community some faith in the safety system. But as Mr. Kashamba said, we can do much better, and that's where we should be aiming. The use of CMA results provide a good platform for international airlines operating in and out of Entebbe International Airport to make wise future investment decisions. The impact of not doing well in such an international audit on the country's site or safety oversight system would have been felt more, and I think we were there at one point. Good that we have recovered. If we had not passed the audit, it would have been a different story. That we did pass the audit, it's a good story, but we can do much better than what we did. So we should not sit comfortably and say we got 72%, 72.2% score, and that we are there. I think as Mr. Kashamba has observed, we need to go beyond the global average, because much as we are better in the region, much as we are better in East and Southern, but there is the global challenge, and that's where we should be aiming at. Having done very well in the safety audit, now CAA and all the aviation industry stakeholders in Uganda, you should not relax. It's not yet uhuru, as it used to say, because we still have a big challenge coming ahead, and this is the Universal Universal Security Audit Program, the USAP, which is coming up in the months which have already been talked. That's January to February. So we should now tighten our belts and actually even move faster in those areas which would bring us down. So CAA, NESA, your team, and Fred, it's really time now You are now on the weighing scale, and you have no reason why not to succeed after what Mr. Kashamba has done for us today. And given that he's even ready, he has offered himself free of charge as a Ugandan. Yes, you will have to accommodate him in first-class hotel and provide him comfortable transport. But other than that, he's ready to help. He's ready to work with us. I've seen the people of my General Tisami, you are here, and you have seen those slides. Just pick them and get Kashambo and work on the security aspect as required. So we really have no reason why we should not score on this. While it is an uphill task ahead of you, you should be able to draw inspiration from the last such international security audit, where Uganda scored 81.8% in 2017. So there's a record that we have ever done well, so we can even do better with all that is there. You therefore have no reason not to excel come January, February, as the team comes. The ministry should continue to attach a lot of importance to the aviation subsector because it guarantees the country direct international access and thus promote tourism. I think you have also talked about tourism. Tourism is this is one of our key partners. These are one, and I don't know why they are not here, because every time when we are talking about, for example, Uganda Airlines can exist because of tourism as number one, because that's one of the reasons why even the airline was revived, to promote the tourism industry. And as we have rightly put it, the airline is not there to make profits. It's not a profit, it's not a cash cow. The airline is an infrastructure, and that's what all Ugandans must appreciate and understand. It's an infrastructure, and they should not expect it to make money. So sometimes I get disappointed when I go before committees and they ask me, why haven't the airline made profits in 2 years? Sure. And you all know we are even recovering from COVID. The airline is an infrastructure. And as long as we appreciate that, we should enable it to grow, and it really needs our support, both in terms of flying the airline, but also in terms of supporting it financially. Because running an airline is not a small business. It's not something very small. So the ministry shall continue guaranteeing all the support that is required to ensure that our Civil Aviation Authority and also the airline runs in a vibrant way. I totally agree with you about separating Civil Aviation Authority as a regulator from the airport as an infrastructure. And I had already discussed that with the chairman board, that this is where we should be going, so that we don't have one running into the other, and we have very clear lines and responsibilities drawn for each of them. To this end, the ministry has undertaken several steps aimed at ensuring the signing of more buses. We have talked about us operating, allowing more air. Yes, we have signed many buses. Recently, we had one signed with in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh. The last one we signed on the 10th. So we are now open to as many operators as it comes. That one's not a problem, and we want to have as many air operators coming in and out of Entebbe as possible. We have another BASA which is coming up between Uganda and Zambia, which was reviewed in November, so very soon we shall be signing that. In further recognition of the air transport as a key driver to socio-economic development worldwide, the ministry is working hand in hand with CAA in liaison with other stakeholders in tourism and trade to work out a mechanism for establishment of a trade hub at Entebbe International Airport. Very soon you will see a lot of changes at the airport to include even a trans launch, which we didn't have. As you have heard, we are now having trans passengers again thanks to the operation of Uganda Airlines, because you have people coming in from Lagos wanting to connect to Dubai, and they have to transfer through Entebbe. Others are coming from Bujumbura, from Kinshasa, so we must make provision for transit passengers at the airport. So all these developments are ongoing, but of course they require money, as you say. We need to invest in those improvements. So these efforts are in advanced stages, and several stakeholders interactions have been held. As Fred showed you, again, you'll see a lot of improvement both at the arrival and departures at the airport, including provision of a green area, car park. I mean, a green area for where you can sit and have a cup of coffee, which should be Ugandan coffee, not any other coffee. And so the ambience at the airport will soon improve. The ministry is also overseeing the development of a second international airport, Kabalega International Airport in Kabale, in Hoima, to support the oil and gas sector. But at the airport, one of the other things, Fred and the board, which you should look at urgently, is to improve the car park. As it is now, no, it does not fit into the international airport level of a car park. So we need to move to improve that car park, plus accessibility to the travelers. So that must be done among the improvements we are doing. There are also plans to improve and upgrade facilities of 5 out of the 13 upcountry aerodromes, as we have heard already from Fred. Again, in the way of promoting tourism, we want to change the way of doing business, especially within East Africa. That somebody should be able to fly in from Masai Mara and fly directly to Kidepo, instead of having to come through Entebbe Airport and then go to Kidepo. Or maybe fly in directly from Ngorongoro, and then it flies direct to Kasese. So in that way, the tourism circuit within the region will be maximally utilized. So this is we are doing in liaison with the Ministry of Tourism and also the regional tourism agencies. So these aerodromes will soon be improved. That's including Kidepo, where we want to make it more operational. Arua, as you have heard, is already being expanded. Gulu is already operational. Pakuba, and now Kasese. Kasese is our biggest next target. In addition to Kisoro, of course, Kisoro will still have a limitation because of the terrain there, but would have loved to see it expanded. But Kasese, because of the Queen Elizabeth National Park, we think it's one of the most profitable airports which we can improve. So we are really looking at, even without CA having the money, if we can get a PPP operator, we are ready to go into negotiations to get somebody to develop a BOT, and we have Kasese operational at that level. We recently hosted a very big international conference, the African Airlines Association Conference at the Speak Resort Munyonyo, under the theme, Strides to Transform Aviation for Development. Mr. Kashambo, we are not opposed to SATAM. We are just going through the processes. We are not opposed to SATAM. We support SATAM because we think it's high time Africa gets connected. Yes, we are very much in support of that. It doesn't make a lot of sense for us to have these skies not fully utilized by us, and then we won't we enable the others to do that. So we are moving towards endorsing the SATAM as a way of enabling our skies on the continent to be more connected. As you have heard, we are now preparing to host a very, 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 very important summit, which is the NAM, the Non-Aligned Movement, and G77. These are coming back to back. This is in January. It will be from 15th to 23rd January 2024. Now, this also puts a lot of demand and a lot of pressure on our infrastructure. One of the things which we have achieved in the expansion of the airport is to be able actually to park, I think we may be able to park up to about 70 aircrafts without much problem now at Entebbe Airport, which is different from what happened when we had Chogamo here and we were struggling. The expansion has now enabled us to do that. We can conveniently park. If 70 heads of states will all come in with their aircrafts, we will be able to park them conveniently. So we are looking forward to hosting that, and I hope Ugandans should also be looking forward to hosting this number. We expect about 5,000, if not more, delegates in both conferences. So it's a very, very demanding summit, but I think we'll be up to task. So Entebbe International Airport, with what the developments which Fred was showing, we have given them the target that by December, end of this month, they should be able to take off all those construction materials which they have there and have it ready to receive guests and also enable them to travel in and out more conveniently. For those of you who have traveled through the airport recently, I think you have seen some of the new improvements, the removal of the chairs in the concourse, and also providing, when we do the next and connect the next terminal, the new terminal, then the ambience of the travelers is going to be even much, much better. I'd want you to appreciate that expansion and construction of airports actually is practically everywhere. Most of the airports worldwide are doing a lot of expansions. You go to Cairo, you'll see the same. You may think Dubai has already reached there. You go there, you'll see expansions. India, recently I was in Bombay, in Mumbai, and I was shocked to see what they have done. Tanzania has just come up with a new terminal. So really, I hope the country will understand that these investments are necessary. It's not a waste of resources. They are necessary because that's the trend. That's what's happening everywhere in the industry. The industry is growing. The industry is demanding. Thank God that the industry recovered from the COVID very fast than how we expected. But as Mr. Kashamba said, 1.7 travelers through Entebbe, we are proud, but we should not be proud enough. We should make, we hope that once we make it a hub, then these numbers are going to increase. And that's what we should be doing. But also encourage many Ugandans to travel. When you see the domestic passengers, the numbers are not very encouraging. So possibly, if we have more people traveling locally, those numbers will improve. So I'm calling upon Ugandans to be ready to host these visitors who are coming in January, and as we are known for being very, very hospitable people. So please don't let us down. Fred, as we have been always saying, first impression is a lasting impression. Our people at the entry point at Entebbe must be up to the game to welcome visitors in the country. Somebody can be thrown off by just the reception. Again, Mr. Kashambo talked about this, what has been in the media, the negative press which has been there about the aviation industry is not good. And we should aim at Mr. Rujai. I've seen Mr. Rujai here. You have an uphill task to correct that. But I also thank those who have been writing negatively, because they have helped us sometimes to check ourselves. It's not always bad to get a negative comment or a negative article. Many times they have also helped us. Like Monitor. Monitor has been very, very critical. And I thank them for being very critical, because the more they have criticized, the more we have worked hard to correct ourselves. So I think, in a way, I will not say that all negative media has been bad. It has helped us to check ourselves, but that's not what we should be having. let's work on improving our image at the point of entry. I therefore appeal to you all to help play your part in the arrangements to ensure a smooth and memorable passenger experience and our visitors' experience as they come in here, while according them the famed Ugandan hospitality. Everybody knows that that's an asset which we have worldwide. They know us as a very hospitable population. So let's meet the challenge and be able to welcome these guests as they come in. And the airport should move faster to make the ambience of the airport worth receiving the guests. As I conclude by adding my voice to those who have previously spoken before me, thanking the industry stakeholders present for honoring the invitation. Thank you for your participation and engagement. And please, let's all support Civil Aviation Authority, and let's support our infrastructure, let's support our airline. These are our assets. We should not go admiring the others. Yes, we may admire them, copy the good things, but bring them back home. This is our country, this is our infrastructure, this is what we have. Let's make ours better. Thank you very much and have a nice day.